423. 423. All right. So we are just coming off of One for All versus All for One. That's the title of the chapter. We're just coming off of. Oh, you want to say in about there's stuff? Okay. So we're coming off of Deku flying in, slamming into All for One. He landed such a good punch too. Damn. Don't touch the boy. He's bleeding out of his whole paw, so that's crazy. How did I not realize? I should have noticed that Hyper Regen wasn't working on this haggard excuse for a body. Something should have felt off, okay? He's to blame. No. All of them. They conspired. He landed a pretty good punch, too. So we know that Hyper Regen isn't working. Whoa. I like this panel. I like that panel. Oh, I like this panel. I like this panel a lot. Oh, they even threw some of the class 1B in there too. You got Kendo and Tetsu. I'm trying to notice everybody. Like, oh my god, that's what's his name? The guy that first hero we see in the series. He quit, then he came back. I can't remember his name. Can't remember his name. He's in there. Class 1B's down there. That's Snipe too. I can never, for the life of me, I never can remember his name. Each individual only represents a feeble threat. But as a united force, they somehow overwhelmed me, dulling my sensitivity without me realizing. When the boy drove Yoichi and the successors into the core, it wasn't only my spirit that was a lost cause, but this body as well. But All for One, he said that. All for One 1000% said that we were gonna die, but I'm keeping, like, his evil and his hatred and his evil will alone is what is keeping this body going. He said that. All right, your limp noodle body isn't ready for it. Your limbs would pop right off. After just 2 years, it's a little stronger than what the eighth could deliver. After just 2 years, it's a little stronger than what the eighth could deliver. You're facing the combined power of all 9 of us. Deku said that? Who said that? Deku said that? Damn, he broke the body. Yes, this body too was already shattered. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. His quirks are crumbling away. Midoriya must have pulled it off. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Next page. What's happening? Oh my. What the? Oh my. I'm not done yet. Oh my. Haphazardly using his quirks to hold his body together. I haven't achieved anything yet. No one can rob me of what's mine. Yeah, that is something I should take note of. He actually is outputting higher than All Might. Only my dream gets to come true. It won't pay it forward. I won't pay it forward, excuse me. Nobody gets to pick up my torch. The Demon Lord is singular and absolute. I need only repeat this process just as I did with that fool Tomura. Oh, so he's gonna try to take Deku? This boy is suitable now that he's without One for All. Anyone will do, really. Okay. I'll grant them my quirk and me with it to claim. Oh, God. A new vessel. You're done, All for One. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? I'm trying not to look at the bottom panels. I didn't. I see Aizawa, Midoriya, Shiraku. So there's what's going on? Deku's losing his damn mind. He's losing his damn mind. He's flying in like this. So Kurogiri warps away. Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah. Well, let me get through the chapter. Hold on. Low-key panicking. Hold on. So Shirakumo he calls out their name, says sorry, and he's like, I must do this. Go one page? Are you saying go one page? Oh no. I must protect Tomura Shigaraki, really? Nah, say it. I was gonna say it. Say it. Bakugo's gonna come out of that portal. Bakugo's gonna come out of that portal. Only reason why I say that is because he's like, I must protect Tomura Shigaraki. And then you got Mike being so down on himself, like, I knew it. I knew he shouldn't have trusted. I think this is gonna be like whatever's happening to Shigaraki right now is for the worst. And it's not like what Deku is doing, what All for One is doing to Shigaraki isn't good. So I need to help in whatever way I see fit. If it's not, I would love to. He's about to come to this portal. I feel like it. I feel it in my heart. Give me a break. I should have known in the end. Breathe. Breathe. He's always going to reach out with a helping hand. All for One, give back Tomura Shigaraki. What? Wait, what? Oh, no, wait. What happened? His friends await him. They didn't kill him, did they? Wait. I'm losing. This is a terrible reaction. Okay, so my methodology on how I thought it was gonna happen was wrong. But he did show up. He did show up. It was totally wrong. Todoroki, hold on. I'm reading. Oh, Bakugo, you kidding me? That kid's supposed to be in the hospital. He zoomed back here alone with his blast. Todoroki might have helped out with this little ski jump. But he's taking something from Deku. But don't you dare let me surpass you, Izuku. All for one, I can't look past what you've done. I'm shooketh. But you're not some monster beyond all understanding. No, stop! And you're no demon lord. Don't look at me. All you are is a lonely man. That's the truth. That is the truth. Yoichi, there's a piece of him left. Ah. Midoriya managed to adjust that violent transfer in just such a way that the bearer's fragment would remain intact. Then the resonance within his ember awakened me to do right by these last shreds of me, also that he could complete one for all, as we were meant to be. Temper tantrum. I don't care. I don't care. None of that matters. Don't fade away. Show me your face. Impossible. My time is up. You can't go. He's getting his face back. You're mine. Look upon me. Let me see your eyes. Brother, I couldn't guide you down the right path. What Midoriya conceived for us here is our final salvation at the end of it all. He's freaking out. I won't allow it. I love you. Yeah. Goodness. I love you like no other. I'm hopeless without you. I'm nothing. It's time to pay the price. It's time to pay the price for exploiting all for yourself. Reread that. It's time to pay the price for exploiting all for yourself. Got you. Because he awakened more than just me. Really? They're all here? No. I don't know how it... No, he... I hate that people instantly jump to incest. Ugh, I hate it. I'm not saying that you're saying that, but that's something that definitely was happening whenever we got the flashbacks with them. And it was just like, where are you guys getting this from? You guys are just jumping to that. But damn, they blowing his ass away. They blowing his ass away. I thought I was annihilated beyond hope when Master swallowed me up. But you somehow kept me tethered. Kept me from fading. Right, Grandma? Kurogiri, I stole my body back from Master, but I never managed to destroy a thing. Maybe in the end, maybe I really am just a crying little kid like you said. I couldn't even destroy your hands. Everything you did, I couldn't let it stand. That's why I fought. I wanted to stop you. I wanted you to stop yourself, to keep that grief and misery from spreading any further. Izuku Midoriya, if Spinner survived this, tell him that even to the bitter end, Tomura Shigaraki kept fighting to destroy. It's already been destroyed. Wow. I want to throw up. I feel like this is the end of the series. I want to throw up. I want to throw up. Yo, I don't feel good. I don't feel good. Dude, my heart is racing. My heart is racing. Oh my goodness. What's left to do? I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not. I'm not ready at all. I think so. But we don't know how One for All truly works. But I think now that we are sitting here putting everything into context, right? But thoughts on this chapter? Sadly, you hate it and disappointed. Why? Putting it into perspective and I'm thinking about the conversation that they had whenever they told Deku that he was going to be the last One for All user. It's one of these things where it's like, I wanted some epic Dragon Ball Z fight. I don't think I should have known I never was going to get nothing like that. My hero never does fights like that. But I wanted some epic fight where he'd fully realize One for All and everything. And I wanted it so bad, but that's not something I got. But me sitting here thinking about that conversation, right? And initially when they said that, I think the first thing that I went to, the first thing that a lot of people went through, I will speak for myself, is that, yeah, English. I'm off emotionally tore up, but it's when they first tell us that, it's more so that it would be unethical to pass on One for All to the next generation, because we finally found out that giving One for All to an individual with a quirk is sentencing them to die. And as the generations keep going on, finding another quirkless individual to pass this quirk to would prove to be fruitless, especially finding someone that is quirkless. Hold on. Like, finding someone quirkless that would be as pure-hearted as Deku would prove to be damn near impossible. So I think what a lot of us was hoping, that Deku would keep One for All until the end. I don't know how I still feel. I just finished the chapter, but I'm all over the place. I like this chapter a lot. I do. I like this chapter a lot. Because I'm taking a step back. You guys know what I wanted. I've been spelling this out for like a year. I wanted a Deku moment where he fully realized all One for All, and it was like he fully used it at its full potential. Like, I wanted it to be like this Deus Ex Machina, every single other shonen series, whenever they unlock their full potential and it restored. I wanted that. That's what I wanted. I wanted like a one wide panel of Deku standing there at full 100% unaffected. That's what I wanted. I've been screaming for that for years now. And I'm sitting here seemingly not going to get that. So I'm taking a step back from what I wanted and what the series has been giving me. Right? What the series has been giving me and shaping me up. And I should have realized this from the moment we started throwing quirks away. That's it. But my thoughts are all over the place. I like the chapter. Before you go further about the community, why are you comparing Hori to Hitler and wishing death upon him after this chapter? I get that you're disappointed, but at least be humane about it. I'm sitting here, and this is where I don't want to. I'm sitting here where, like, what the. I don't know because my question would be, coming off of last week's chapter, and I liked last week's chapter, what did we want to happen this week? Like, what after, like, exactly where the chapter ended last week, where Deku lands the punch. What did we want to happen? Did we want? I'm trying to figure out what would have made people, but I could give a fuck about the community, if I'm being honest, because they don't like it. They haven't liked My Hero in years. If I'm being dead ass, they don't like it. They like moments that have happened, but overall, they've stopped liking My Hero for a while now. The overall greater community. So I could give a damn about what they think, if I'm being honest. But me sitting here after reading this chapter, I think from last chapter to this chapter, like all of my massive worries that I had with All For One doing something was avoided. Like, I was like, I don't want All For One to turn, like, we already had him turn into a baby. So it's like, we weren't going to do that again. I didn't want him to, like, the idea of him transferring himself into someone else is something that All For One has been doing the whole series. So the fact that he thought about that, I'm not upset about that. I'm glad that he didn't do it. Well, we still don't know that, right? I'm glad that he didn't do that. He didn't turn until the planet. He was having quirks hold his body together. I think it's just a stack on top of, like, people are probably mad that Bakugo showed up. I think it's very on brand for. It's very on brand for dude. Ever since we started calling him Shirakumo, I completely forgot what his name is. Warpgate. Kurogiri. Should we start calling him his real name? Kurogiri deleted out of my brain. But Kurogiri popping up and being like, that's been a thing the whole series. I must protect Tomura Shigaraki. But since he's been in captivity, he's never been close enough to, like, do anything. So the fact that he even got close enough and he popped up on All For One and was like, give Tomura back. I like that. I feel like that's a good bookend to his character, where he helped his friends out, yes, but he had this prime directive given to him by this evil man, and to screw the evil man, like, it spit, but like all these plans have started backfiring in his face. I like that. I like that for a character like All For One, because I feel like if you pair it to the information that we're getting from the anime, the arc that we're going through, where it's like that was not the beginning, but where we started to see all of the different routes that All For One has, where it's like, oh, he has the trader with Aoyama, but then you seen he had the orphanage, and then we learn about Toya being in that orphanage, and this and all these different plans. And I like that funneling towards the end of the series, the master manipulator, the person with the big brain, the person that laid all these plans, one by one, all of these plans started to backfire and kick back in his face. So it's like he'll have one plan go through, and then another plan kick back in his face, and then another plan go through, and then another plan get kicked back in his face. And he's like, I lay so many out, but it's been throughout the course of the end of the series that all these plans have been shortening. And now it's like we are at this finite path, and there's only but so many plays you got left. And he's like, and all of them are backfiring and backfiring and backfiring. And All Might once again stands in his way. And all of this, it's all these different things. And I feel like for it to have all of these plans just like backfire and just kick back in his face, like Kurogiri is a plan to make sure that Shigaraki is always safe and will always get out of a situation. But lo and behold, when I don't need you to do this, here you come, and you come mess everything up. I like that. I like that a lot. Bakugo showing up, I feel like he had to show up. Last chapter, you had all of Class 1A here. It would make no sense whatsoever if Bakugo didn't show up for this final battle. I said that I want to say I said that last week, said that the week before, all that stuff. So it's like you knew he was gonna come back. But the one thing that I'm glad that happened is it wasn't like the people are gonna be mad because it's like, oh, it's like the friendship boost, but it's like that's ever since the Dark Deku arc, it's been Class 1A versus the world, and it was like basically what this is it's a Deku version of Kamino. That's honestly what these last couple chapters have been. The Deku version of Kamino, where All Might is spent, All Might is spent, and Edshot shows up. The students are doing their thing. Endeavor's doing his thing. Everyone's showing up saving people, like Kamui Woods, and I never remember that pussycat's name, but the one that has Pila Body. It's like everyone's showing up and doing these things, while All For One is trying to like humiliate and embarrass and then eventually kill All Might. And it's the same thing was happening where it's like All For One is bearing down on him, and all this, like, everyone is stepping in the way to give Deku the chance to get the one punch off, and he finally is able to get the punch off. It's like no one's transferring him energy or trying to do this. They just are making an opening for him so that he himself can land that blow. And all of this stuff with All For One, this doesn't make me mad because this falls right in line with where we left him from the last flashback. It honestly, like where he is and how he feels, we all suspected that. We all theorized that. Where it's like he loved his little brother 1000%. He did. And the fact where he's he's freaking out, like it's like he tried to like play it off and be cool whenever it's like Yoichi's gone, and then now I'm just gonna stay here and be alive. But then it's just like, oh no, he's really like, you're actually gone, like you're actually gonna die, you're actually not gonna be here. He's freaking out. He literally turns back into a kid again. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. All right, sorry, I'm just babbling. It could have been a transfer. That's true. Judging by the title, it's the conclusion between Yoichi and All For One. It could be. It could be about how Shigaraki is saved in some capacity and found peace because Deku came through. They all were foiled because Deku inspired everyone in one way or another. Yeah. Yep. I like this chapter. Shigaraki's dead. Shigaraki's dead, and Shigaraki never disappointed about All For One and Yoichi's conclusion being 2 pages, but I'm not that disappointed about it. Shiggy and Deku's conclusion being 2 pages and it being so emotionless for a character that was here from the beginning, him having no reaction about All for One before his birth, controlling his life, Shiggy, this would only be in a body All for One, and not doing. Hold on. I don't think they need to talk about anything else. What else do Deku and Shigaraki honestly need to talk about? If I'm being for real, like, not what you want. What else do they need to talk about? Think about all the talking that they've done. What else do they honestly need to talk about? These are two individuals that really don't know each other. There's not much else for them to actually talk about. They talked a lot whenever we thought that he was gone the first time. It does look like his punch is splitting the clouds now that you say that. I'm trying to read through your comment again. I'm not mad at these. I'm not mad at these. I'm not, because I'm thinking about all of the other. I'm thinking about all the other moments. I didn't need half the chapter to be about Deku and Shigaraki talking. I don't think it's being so emotionless. We got all the emotion from them when All for One came in. That was all of the emotion. Like, that Shigaraki he accepted everything that was happening to him. That was the acceptance, and he was gone. There was not much else. What else? You just want I'm dying. I'm literally dying. I'm in my death. I'm just gonna be complete. And All for One screwed me. He screwed me. Controlled my whole. Shigaraki never cared about that. Shigaraki only wanted to destroy, and that's what his last words were. I only wanted to destroy. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. I let everything go. He let everything go. He literally did. He literally let everything go. That's what I'm like. He literally let everything go. I don't know. Ow. Yeah, he changed the weather. That's what it definitely looks like. Thank you, I appreciate it. Possibly. The fist bump possibly could be a transfer. I think so. I don't know, I feel like sitting here as we are approaching the end of this series, this is one of these things where I think I feel the same way, because it's not like I don't understand what people are saying in regards to Shigaraki and what they've been saying about Shigaraki. Because everyone has been saying that Shigaraki is underutilized, yada yada yada, reshaping all this up, blah blah blah, whatever. So I know how people feel when it comes to Shigaraki, because Shigaraki at points in the series post Kamino was built to be our big villain, but how the end of the series would tell us that All for One was the big villain. And I think that's where the divide is. If you wanted Shigaraki to be the main villain, if you wanted him to be the big villain, and it felt like he should have been the big villain, but he never was given a chance to be the big villain, then that's just an issue you have, and everything for the last 200 or so chapters hasn't been the best for you. I'm just sitting here. It's just, I want to say the last like 100 or 200 chapters has just not been it for you, because it's been, in your opinion, Hori not knowing what to do with Shigaraki. But then if you look, I'm sitting here trying to take all the information and with this new end cap that I have and be like, All For One was always the villain. Even when it seemed like after Kamino, this was being passed off to Deku, and All For One was passing it off to Shigaraki. In the grand scheme of things, he wasn't passing it off to Shigaraki. It was a plan so that he ended up back in control. So if that was always the case, then Shigaraki was always just going to be a piece of it. You can argue if Hori did a good enough job at explaining that and conveying that message, or did too much time pass between Kamino and this final arc where we backloaded, oh, Shigaraki was always a pawn, instead of pushing it a little bit more forward. It's like you had the struggle of the All For One, is he or isn't he? Shiggy for One, is he or isn't he? So it's like I could see that, but as I'm sitting here with the idea of All For One was always going to be the final boss, and Shigaraki was just a pawn in everything. I don't know. I get it. I get it. Am I saying the execution was perfect? No, the execution wasn't 1,000%. The execution one could have been way better. It could have been, you could have done, I don't know what you could have done, but something could have been done. But if this is where the series was going to be, right? If I'm not going into my own, what I wanted the series to be, if this is what the series was going to be, what could have been changed in the in-between to make more sense for that? But then it's just like, that aside, you're gonna have some people upset that people didn't die. There's gonna be some people upset with that. My hero doesn't have any stakes, yada yada yada, all that. If you want to complain about that, go ahead. I don't care. I don't know. I feel like there's Deku and Shiggy talked 6 chapters ago. So like they talked and they had like their little moment whenever we got the I was a hero for villains. Like that was basically like Shigaraki letting that go. I don't think there's much else to be talked about, especially if like this was his dying moment. If he was leaving. Hold on. Overall review of this final arc, favorite one. So final arc starting from where season 7 is, right? So like from the moment that they use Aoyama to, bro, this is a better ending than Naruto and Bleach. If anyone wants to argue that, I would love to have that conversation. If this is the end and this is how it ends, it's better than Naruto and Bleach. I feel like you're on drugs if you say if those series ended better. There's no way. No way at all. Like, I love Bleach. It was clear the final arc of Bleach was rushed. It was clear. And whatever issues were going on behind the scenes that we don't know, it was clear that there was stuff going on. So I'm never going to cope for the end of Bleach. Because if the end of Bleach was good, we wouldn't be having stuff added to the anime version of the ending of Bleach. So I'm not arguing the end of that. And the end of Naruto, like there's like you created the best final villain you possibly could have had, only to doll up Kaguya, all that stuff. I don't know. As far as final arcs go, like, dude, Naruto's final arc is booty cheeks to me. For real. I love Naruto. Its final arc it's booty cheeks. It has great moments in it. It has horrendous lows for me. And Bleach's final arc to me, I like Bleach's final arc all the way up until the very end. It's just all the way up until the very end. I just feel like the fight needed maybe like 3 or 4 more chapters or something like that. If like 3 or 4, not even anything crazy. That's it. That's for me. But then again, I'm easy to please. I'm very easy to please. If stuff is just going right and it feels like it's flowing good, right? If it feels like it's flowing good, I'm cool. But like this, that's why I'm like, you guys got to see it in real time, where I was so panicked at My Hero having a bad ending that I wasn't enjoying what I was reading. Not because it was bad, but I was just so anxious about, all right, so the next chapter has to be, and I wasn't digesting. I'm not allowing myself to enjoy the series. And I finally had to let that go and just take my own expectations out. I wanted an epic slobber knocker fight where they fight to the bloody death. I wanted that. I genuinely did. And I didn't really get that. I kind of got it, but in the way that I saw it, no, I didn't. I didn't get it. But I can't let the fact that what I wanted to happen and what actually happened take away from what the series was trying to give me. What was Hori trying to give me? And I'm sitting here and I'm taking the step back and I'm like looking at like the story arcs and the stuff, the last like 20 or so chapters in my head. And I'm like, I like it. I do like it. I like everything. The one thing that still blows my mind, right? The one thing that blows my mind is whenever Kudo says, I have a theory. You're going to transfer us over and we might be able to do damage to Shigaraki's core. And he was like, I'll go first, which everyone was like, why would you go first? Even N was like, why would you go first? Send me. And Kudo was like, relax, buddy. I'll go first. If it works, then we have a plan. One by one, you send them, and Banjo, you're the last one because the boy needs to be protected. And literally the next chapter, Deku, on the very next punch, tries to send all of the vestiges at the same time. And they all got blown back and N made it through. It was like, what are you doing? That's the one thing where I head scratched. Like, why? It's like it felt like almost an immediate contradiction, especially coming from someone like Deku. When a good plan is put in place, he'll follow it. So why did you immediately just throw the plan out? It was literally the next chapter. That's the only, literally the only thing that, off the top of my head, that I can think of where that didn't make sense to me. But I'm thinking back on All for One setting up Shigaraki, letting Shigaraki get agency, all of these things, building it up. And it makes sense to me. Now actually having Shigaraki be gone, sitting here and realizing what All for One's plan was, that little brief moment, and in the grand scheme of things, that brief moment that we got whenever Shigaraki was coming into his own and became the leader of the Paranormal Liberation Front and started to become the supreme villain. Like, it was one of those moments where it's like, I think a lot of people's gripes is going to be, and a lot of people's gripes have been, was I think that's where the series should have gone. A lot of people wanted All Might to die too. And I've heard this come out of people's mouths where they were like, this All Might at Kamino was supposed to be, in comparison, like the Jiraiya moment. where it's like, why are you still here if you're not going to be able to help us fight, if you're just going to be around and just be the mouthpiece or something? I've heard people say that. I think All Might being here and the message of him struggling to find value and purpose in his life without being a hero was a story that I would have liked to see a little bit more. We got a little bit of it. But also showing that All Might doesn't necessarily need to be the man that eradicated crime for him to be the symbol of peace still. So it's like, so I still like find value in All Might being here. But then it's like the same thing where it's like some people, from the moment that he I just don't think he could control who he transfers, because when they transfer On For All, they always transfer the whole quirk. You have to remember the quirk mutated when it got to Deku. The quirk was never separate. That's the thing that you have to. This is something new with Deku. That's why All Might never used the quirks, because they didn't have agency. They didn't have agency. All Might didn't see voices, see people, talk to people. None of them did. All Kudo was like, dude, there's something a little extra with me. I think he might have passed something on to me. And he just felt the fact that he had energy, and then they realized it and passed it on. It wasn't until it got to Deku where it mutated, and the quirk factors, like the different quirks, like Black Whip, Smoke Screen, Danger Sense, Float, Gear Shift, Fajin. The quirks have like it's like a chromosome. It's like your DNA. That's why it's like if you look inside All For One, you see all these random people in there because a piece of them go with their quirk. So whenever it mutated, it has the DNA of all of the different users. It has the DNA of all the different users, and when it mutated, they gained agency, and that's when we started to go through all that, and they start talking to each other and whatnot. Excuse me. They all started talking to each other and whatever. So that it wasn't until it got to Deku that any of this was a thing, because besides that, it was just something that we just passed along up until that point. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Nana mentioned that a vestige spoke to her too. Did she mention that, like, when she had the quirk, that's something, or when she was a vestige did she say that? All Might Vestige and Danger Sense are the only ones not punching with Shiggy and being shown in this chapter. Where? Right here. That is true. All Might's not there, but it would make sense. Would it not make? It would make sense that I feel like it makes sense for Shinomori not to have been there. It makes, because Shinomori got taken way before we even came up with this idea. Like, he got snatched. As far as All Might Vestige not being here, I don't know. Excuse me. She said that she had visions of the previous users. She did. 209, 210. 209, 210. I'm being stupid. Did I misunderstand what you were saying? Hold on. I think at the beginning said how last chapter felt when they saved Deku in the Deck Dark arc. At Ida being the last chapter, meaning that they showed Uraraka last chapter. She was in the helicopter. Beginning when they save Deku in the Dark Deku arc, Ida being the last chapter, then Bakugo this chapter, meaning next chapter probably could be Uraraka. They showed her last chapter. Like you still could play it off as that being Toga. Still could. She liked Deku too. But they showed her last chapter. I think what I was saying at the beginning was the entrance exam. Like the last chapter starts off with Aoyama, goes through him going through the whole class, and Ida being the last person to send Deku off as he makes the jump to make the final punch. And I think if you look back at the entrance exam, like Aoyama's like the first person that Deku runs into all the other people during the exam, and the last person that leaves Deku there was Ida, and Ida runs off. And then that's when Deku gains the courage, jumps up, and boom. So it's like kind of like a bookend where it's just like you could kind of look at it like the first time he's activating this power, it was through this process, and this was the last person that sent him off. And at the last time he uses this power, it was through this process, and the same person sent him off. Like you could look at it like that, kind of. I think that's how it was supposed to be looked at like this last swing. That it could be that. So I think that's what it was supposed to be like, the mirroring of. Oh man, I don't know. I like it. I like this chapter, but I've been liking where it's been going. But I think now it's like we're at the point where we're splitting hairs. If it's just like not, it's like you're literally honestly what we're doing is we're going panel by panel. I like that panel. You didn't like what happened in that panel. We move to the next panel. I like that panel. You didn't like what happened in that panel. You like this panel. I didn't like that panel. We're just splitting hairs, and now we get to the end. And it's just like, man, I wasn't really feeling that. Then you got someone else. I was feeling that. It's just I think that's where we're at now because we're at the end and we're being hypercritical. It's just like if it doesn't to fulfill this, it's like that. That's where we are. So it's just like if you like it, you like it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. And I think I'm at the point now where it's just like I liked it. I like My Hero. I like it, but this isn't the end, right? We didn't get hit with the notice that My Hero's ending in 5 chapters, right? I feel like if there was any chapter to have hit us with the notice that My Hero's ending in like a volume or a half a volume or something like that, then this would have been the chapter to hit us with. But we didn't, unless I don't know. I could hit Twitter. By hitting Twitter means I'm looking at Hori's account, and I'm looking at Jump. I'm not looking at nobody else's stuff because I don't care. I do think that we do need to get to a point where we shouldn't care about how other people feel. When it comes to something that you like, I don't know. So it's like, I like the ending of My Hero. You didn't like it. We could talk about why we didn't like it, but if it's going to expand past that, there's no need to talk about it. Which is why I feel comfortable talking about it with you guys. But if it were to expand anything else, I don't need to talk about that with anybody else. Does Hori's account say anything? Nope, it's just his last post from last week after the episode. Jump. I'm trying to look at everyone's. They're posting. It all comes down to this. That's what I think this is the end, y'all. But also, what I do think is something that needs to be talked about, and it's the thing that we go through with weekly manga chapters. Is People talk about the pacing. Like they talk about the pacing. Oh, week to week it was a slog, but if you read it all together, it works. I think if 421, 422, and 423 were one big ass chapter, people would feel better. Instead of waiting, like 421 came out April 28th. Instead of it being like over a month and we're thinking about it, I think if it was one just 50-page chapter that just dropped and it was just one big chapter, I think it would have been received better. Because now you're just flowing and you're just flowing. And it flows and it flows and it flows. Because I think if you were to go back and start at the beginning of this arc, right? From the beginning and read through it. Or not even from the beginning. If you start from whenever we cut back to them and we get to like Mount Fuji. If you read from there on in one sitting and you're open to like trying to view it, if it flows good, I think you might have a better experience than reading through it. Because I remember like someone, was I reading something? Was I reading like something, or was I talking to someone? And someone was like, yeah, they said the trader thing was 2 years ago. And I was like, no, it wasn't. And the trader thing was 2 years ago. And like time flies by. To me, it feels like the trader thing happened last year. But no, it's legit been like 2 years since that happened. So it's like, I'm like, maybe the pacing could have been better for this or something. It's just like, I don't know. This war has gone from a 9 to like a 6 or 7 with, you felt it was rushed in some parts, could be savable. Your thoughts fully. I don't know. From a 9 to a 6 or 7 is insane. It's wild. I don't think it's that low. Nor do I feel, I don't feel like it's rushed. I don't. I know we all wanted to have a long fight. I know we wanted, I know it because I wanted a long fight. We all wanted a long fight. We did. But I'm trying to be like realistic and honest to the series. What fight in this series has been long? And like, to be mad at the final fight for not being long when no fight was ever long, I don't know. Like, it feels like I'm judging the final fight not being long as something as I wanted and not what Hori has consistently given us. No fight has been long in this series. I'm trying to genuinely think, how long have the fights been? And they've not a fight has been a volume. Not a fight has been a volume. Hori's like, that's one thing that, in comparison to other shonen series, when it comes to its fight choreography and how Hori draws fights, it's the weakest part of his writing. I feel like emotionally Hori's writing is high, his characters are cool, all this stuff, but when it comes to actually fighting, like actual fights and fisticuffs, and like, that's always been the weakest part of My Hero. It always has been. Like, it legit has always been the weakest part of this series. So I don't think I'm gonna take the final fight not being a volume long because we all wanted it. We all wanted the fight Shigaraki versus Deku to be a volume long, to be 11 chapters long. We all wanted that. No fight's ever been that long. It's never been that long. No. I can't think of any fight that's been. When I think of like some of the best fights in the series, dog, they're like 2 pages. They're like 2 pages. Some of my favorite fights are a couple pages long, barely a couple chapters. The fact that I was so certain that we were gonna cut away from Deku and Shigaraki, and we really didn't. From the moment that they got to Mount Fuji, we never really cut away from them. It might have been for a moment, but we went back to them. So it's like they were in the forefront for a good chunk of chapters, but it's like we didn't get to see them fight in all of it. No. Would I have liked to? Yes. Did we get it? No. Does that always happen? Yeah. My Hero's known for having a fight and then dropping a long ass flashback scene in the middle of its fight. And then whenever we get to that part in the anime, it's awkward because we'll start the fight and then we'll do a 10-minute flashback in the middle of the episode, and then we'll end the episode of the fight. And it's just like all the action is gone because that's just how Hori structures his fights. He starts the fight, he flashbacks, we come back, we finish the fight. I don't know. It's just like I don't want to add negative points on on this one because it's just doing what Hori's always done. When for me, I'm not speaking for you, but for me, I didn't have no issue with how they were before. Not no big issue to dock the fight. I feel like the emotional through line got me 1000%. I thought the action we did get was dope as hell. And we still have more chapters to go. Because we didn't get hit with the series' ending notice. We didn't get hit with that. I don't know. I don't know. Dude, my whole face feels dry as heck. Whole face feels super dry. All right. I gotta get out of here because I gotta go see my dad. I haven't seen him in a while. So I'm gonna get this up today. Yeah, people are not gonna be happy. But bro, what's the last series that people were happy at the ending of? So I could care less about how people feel. And plus, like I really don't care about how people feel because from the moment Bakugo got that hole in his chest, that was the beginning of the end for the series. The people that didn't like My Hero finally had the final nail in the coffin for them. So it was like the noise was only going to get louder. Right, it was only going to get louder, and now it's just going to be the loudest. But I can't think of a shonen series that ended that didn't have loudness. Longest fight this war was, you think, the Shigi for All versus the Pro Heroes and the students in Deku being 12 chapters in a row. Yeah. It's just how it goes. That's just how it is. But yeah, I like this chapter. I do. Like you said, can't believe Shigi's gone. Shigi's actually gone. But something I brought up before, where it's like whenever Deku was launching those quirks into the boy, it was like he was ready to kill him. Which, all right. Gran Torino's words, ring true. Sometimes you have to kill someone to save them. That boy did it. So I'm gonna call it. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. And whoa, does it say there's gonna be a chapter next week? I didn't even look at that. It doesn't say anything. Timeout. It doesn't say anything. Hold on. Usually it say next chapter. It doesn't say anything. I'll see you guys when I see you. I'll see you guys whenever there's supposed to be a chapter. Have a good one. Peace out.